welcome to Miss Martin Musings and and Monday Musings. We are musing on House of the Dragon again, probably for the last time on a Monday Musings because the season finale was on last night. Thanks be to everything that's holy in heaven and on earth, because guess what? This sucked. It was so horrendous. It was even worse than I thought it was going to be, but I was really happy because ever since they messed up Blood and Cheese, I have been saying they're going wrong. And then each successive episode, they have continued to do so. And now they've got Damon, of all people, pulling the "we've got a great story," which completely reminds us of the greatest disaster ever. Who has a better story? Stuff. So they've gone full Benioff and Weiss, though I think a lot of people need to apologize to Benioff and Weiss if they are going along with this, because that's not fair. Yeah, Ryan
Yep.
Condal, he can go right along and be Benioff and Weiss, and because that's what he is. And they all are saying, we saw this, we saw that, we saw that. Isn't this great what we did? And so, bleh. Well, all the way from the future, though, joining with me today, all the way from the future, the one, the only, the Viking himself, Stieg.
Hi.
How's the future?
I'm liking it. I'm like getting to tell people, yeah, I told you so a year ago. You know,
Yes.
but remember when they marketed this season? They were saying, "Oh, it's all out war now."
Mm-hmm.
Really, there was all out war in season 2. There was
They
a
lied
couple
in
of
their
battles, but you know,
the whole season was, let's not have a war.
yeah, I know. And then you have Damon spending a whole season at Harrenhal, which is a castle that's really important. It's like big army and blah blah blah, and there's only 4 people there. Which how important is it? But yeah, and he spends the whole season in kind of like a trance almost,
Mm-hmm.
so he can figure out that yeah, winter is coming in the near future, and we know from the other show that it now ties into that winter is going to last for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really bad winter. It's going to last for a week. We need to like prepare for that. And then he, mentions that yeah, everyone needs to unite to stop this great threat. And if you look at the other show, they had like 200 people uniting, and they also had 2 dragons. That's all it took. They dealt with the White Walker threat in one battle, and it took 200 people. So why does everyone need to unite exactly?
Precisely. Well,
Yeah.
and the whole thing with Damon the whole time about him wanting to become king and not being behind Rhaenyra, it's like, did the writers not see season 1? The whole thing was he was behind her. He crowned her, for crying out loud, and he was gathering the banners for her. We all thought that all this stupid stuff was just some weird manipulation BS. That's why he wasn't acting himself. That's why he was saying he wanted to be the king, because of the Harrenhal curse and whatever they're doing with Alice Rivers. But no, it turns out it was real, and Alice Rivers just had to go, well, I needed to make you ready to see this. So what? She's Team Black? I was like, what? It's just
I
absurd.
don't
But
know.
before we continue, hello, it is Jacob Ironside. Thank you for being here. Saying hello, Teresa. He's saying, what up, Stieg? LJ, thank you for being here. I've never seen so many character arcs butchered in a single episode. OMG. Yeah, I was thinking about this, Jacob. In Texas, I've had winter last for a week. Yes, it was a Texas winter. That's what it was.
Yeah,
And yeah.
yeah. Certainly hope you united for that week. Otherwise,
Oh,
you would
we
have
were
been doomed.
we were completely united. We were all underneath all our blankets and wearing all our heavy coats and
Was that the
all.
time I told you to get blankets?
Um No, that was the time you told me to get food and stuff ahead of time as it was coming.
Oh,
That was yeah, but I already had blanket because I have my Icelandic blanket that I got in Iceland. I had all nice and cozy things, but you gave me great tips because especially once the electricity went out because you were a scout in Norway where, you really
yeah.
gotta know how to survive in the cold. But
Well,
look,
learn to
it
summon. Well, it's common sense though. Make sure you have food.
well, apparently a lot of people didn't because remember everyone ran out of food? It was ridiculous. But look who we have. It is Justin Proper. Hello. Thank you. What's up? It is so good to see you. Jacob Bard said my power went out too. Yeah. Actually, I was lucky. I was one of the few people that didn't, but yeah, everyone else did. But we were definitely prepared. I mean, it went out,
Do,
but not
do
all
you
the time.
feel it's better when everyone else's power goes out and not yours?
Well, no, but it was still. I guess I'm trying to say I didn't suffer. But you know who didn't suffer? Winter, all these Egypts in House of the Dragon. Now, what we've got going on here is first of all a complete tie-in with Game of Thrones. All along, I remember last season, everyone was saying, "No, no, 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 no! This is going to be different from Game of Thrones. Yay! Look what they're doing! Oh my gosh, they're changing it! Look!" I even had someone in my video last week, and God bless them. I told him, "Come back. I want to hear what you have to say next." After you see the episode, they were saying, but House of the Dragon is so good because it craps all over Game of Thrones. And I'm like,
Uh, Well,
just wait.
technically it does because it makes Game of Thrones even dumber.
Mm.
Uh, but it's also making itself even dumber. So it's like,
Yeah. But
yeah,
it
uh,
shows that it's completely tied in with Game of Thrones. A lot of people were saying, no, no, they're going to reboot it. They're going to redo it. It's like, no. Well, you see, this is, you had even said this about just having that little dagger was enough of a
yeah,
tie in.
yeah. That dagger is not important at all in the books, and it's not even. Yeah,
Yeah. Really quickly, I want to say Justin Proper is saying, I told you I was burned with Game of Thrones season 8 to expect it to get better. Sounds like Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, this is why
yeah.
I never bothered.
Copium.
Yeah. Who told you it was a reboot? Oh, there are some
Lots of
YouTubers that
people.
are trying to cope that they were trying to say, I'm not going to name names. I mean, you all know who they are. Not in our circle, the certain ones. They were saying that what they were doing was they were setting up House of the Dragons as a solid prequel based on what George wants and all that, so that by the time they get done with all these prequels, they will have time to remake Game of Thrones: A Song of Ice and Fire properly.
Which
That
they
was a
no
lot of the
longer
hope.
can. They
Mhm.
can't do that now because they already tied it into the old show. So
Yeah.
if they reboot the main story,
Mhm.
then they will have to tie it to this story, which ties into the original story and original show anyway. So that yeah, they're just screwed either way.
Yep. Well, and the whole marketing thing about this is the real version of what happened. And even before we saw something like what happened in episode 8, it was like that's just absurd. What author on the planet is going to let a TV show be the definitive version of a story? Nobody.
Yeah. Well, George Martin tried to warn people a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
pointing out, yeah, no, there's no dragons in the Vale and blah blah blah.
It's falling apart like tissue paper.
Yeah,
And and he also was talking about writers that seem like they know better than everybody else. I think it's very fascinating though, because it is a fact that George R. R. Martin had a hand in season 1 and he seemed to be pretty happy about it. And then when you started seeing some of these oblique, snarky comments, including the one where he said they're going to be having a meeting while I'm in London with the writers, I'm not going to be there. I think they might have misled him, and he did not get happy when he saw what they were doing with season 2.
no, he basically stepped in it for the second time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel sorry for him. That's people.
Mhm.
Make sure if someone's gonna adapt your work, make sure they're competent and that the work is the priority instead of their personal politics.
He wanted to hear. I'll bet you they were telling him, we're not going to be like Benioff and Wise. We're not going to do this. And he believed them because he probably couldn't imagine that people would lie to him the same way George Lucas fell for it with Disney Star Wars. Yeah, Justin Proper. Just George screwed himself over for the money. He sold his soul for dollars. He regrets it. If the books never come out, don't blame him. What do you mean? Don't blame him? I'll blame him all day long.
Oh yeah, I'm certainly going to blame him.
Yeah, if I'm hearing your point correctly there, because yeah, he did. You can't feel sorry for a man who should know better. I mean, come on. Yeah, and of course, it will never be. Yeah, it will never be fulfilled. The original vision that George had in mind, and people were. It's just sad because it really is a great story. I love fake history, and I love the way that Fire and Blood is written like a fake history, and the way it mirrors the anarchy in England and the War of the Roses and all sorts of good stuff. But they just couldn't help themselves. I think
we're definitely getting book 6, but 7. I don't know unless he actually kills off a lot of characters. Because you know what's kind of interesting is people bash George Martin for killing off too many characters and stuff. He actually hasn't killed off many at all, and that's the problem. He has too many characters to write now. There's almost there's over 20 main characters still alive.
Gotcha.
All the people who died in the show, except Robb Stark and Ned Stark, and the people in the first few seasons, they're alive in the books.
Yes, a lot of that was just show stuff, and even George Martin's called out people who confuse the show with this. Okay, he said, I said that I personally don't blame him. Oh, you said don't blame him. Maybe an I was laid out. Okay, now this makes sense. Justin is saying, I said that I personally don't blame him. Nobody knew what Game of Thrones was because nobody reads anymore. Oh, so that it was going, he maybe didn't realize what was going to happen. The masses just don't read. It's sad, but true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in that book series case, though, that one actually did sell well, which is why they made it. But he's right. People don't read. People want to be spoon-fed simplified versions of it on the big screen and small screen.
Yes, and it's, I promise you, when Winds of Winter comes out, it will be humongous. And what I'm hoping for is that he's written enough of A Dream of Spring that it could be published posthumously, or maybe it'll all come together. But Bushmaster, hello, he says, what are your thoughts on Aegon and Larys escaping to Essos, similar to Tyrion and Varys?
That actually, Tyrion and Varys fleeing to Essos doesn't even happen in the books, actually.
Yes. So
Tyrion flees, or he gets sent to Illyrio.
Yeah,
but
that is
Varys,
fair. Oh, sorry.
Varys, we don't know what he did. At the end of book 5, he has returned and he kills Pycelle and Kevin.
Yeah.
There's no sept that blows up or anything. It might be later on, but Kevin is not going to be in there when it blows.
Okay. Though, to be fair, if we're talking about consistency within the TV show, yes, of course, because they don't really have original ideas. But Aegon and Larys do escape. Okay, it is a thing. If you don't want to be spoiled, I can tell you what happens. So I didn't mind that because so far what's been going on with Aegon and Larys is completely consistent with what's been going on with the source material. And I think they're doing a great job of adapting it. But yeah, they don't have an original bone in their body. Again, I haven't put up spoilers yet, but it's actually quite epic what Aegon It does. And Laris, I can't wait. I hope they do it. I hope they don't change it. I mean, at this point, I don't give them enough credit that they won't change the ending of House of the Dragon, or rather the Dance of Dragons. But Rhaenyra is so unlikable. I can't wait. Now, in the
I'm
books, she was
I'm
unlikable for different reasons.
I'm still baffled that the thousands of people in that battle that saw Aemon try to kill his own king, that none of them has said anything, because he did it in full view of. He tried to commit regicide in full view of everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody really noticed. You didn't notice the two dragons in the sky and the third one coming in and barbecuing the king.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody noticed that.
Yeah, they'll probably say that maybe they didn't get a good view, but it also makes it even more unrealistic that Aegon was able to survive that because he took a full blast of dragon fire from the dragon.
Apparently,
And
apparently his sausage burst.
oh, well, yes, that was their attempt at being ha ha ha, aren't we funny? Because ha ha ha, didn't people like what happened with Tyrion making all of those stupid jokes?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a Theon. Remember when Ramsay was eating sausage after they had you know sliced Theon's sausage off. So it was just that's what they went with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different take on the same joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get back to well, it's just absurd. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate. Now they do go somewhere in in the book, so we won't get there. LJ says, "Can we talk about Helena? Like what happened there? From cryptic, I'm scared to rat trial spoiler. You're going to die here at this time." Oh, it's absurd what they're doing. First of all, she's supposed to be insane, out of her mind, insane, not doing anything. She's not even supposed to be a dreamer, though. I thought it was kind of cool and can be forgivable the way that she would like mutter things. It's like, well, why not? Why not? That makes sense. It was kind of cute. But yes, then she went on, as you said, to spoiling it. Did you realize how many people spoiled the endings? She's like just looking at him. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is what's going to happen. I mean, no one needs to watch The Dance of Dragons. Kristen Cole, he spoiled what was going to happen and what was going to happen to him. The tree spoiled what was going to happen. His name escapes me, to the guy that's going to betray Rhaenyra. The tree said traitor when he showed up. And then, of course, they spoiled Daemon's ending, how Daemon's going to die. They spoiled how Aemon's going to die. And they spoiled what was going to happen with Aegon, though they left a few things out with that. We've got one or two things that have not been spoiled in episode 8. It's so ridiculous. And it's also stupid
Heck,
because...
even Joffrey spoiled a
Oh, yeah,
lot in
Joffrey
the other.
spoiled, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least not within their own show. It's like they're breaking the fourth wall. There was a YouTuber who said that, one that I admired what he had to say, but I can't remember his name. I was listening to it this morning, where he said they're breaking the fourth wall continuously. It's like they're watching the show along with us and reading Twitter as we're as we're doing this.
Yeah, I actually noticed that, and that's actually something that's been going on in a lot of shows now. In Disney Star Wars as well. It's like all the characters know what the viewers know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
and
terrible.
that was
Yeah.
definitely not the case with the original Game of Thrones show to begin with, anyway.
No,
Because
but
if you look at season 5 or something in Game of Thrones, Arya's little kill list, right?
mm-hmm.
That one changes. She removes the people who are dead that she doesn't even know are dead. She removes Tywin right after he's been killed. Arya has no way of knowing that Tywin's dead, and she removed Ilyn Payne because the actor died, so they just removed the character. So he's not on the list. It's just she magically knows who's still alive in Westeros when she is with the Faceless Men.
Yeah, she had a subscription to Max.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Sunfire. I don't know if Sunfire is truly dead. The end has changed. No. Well, here's the thing about Sunfire. They all think that Sunfire is dead, but this is one thing where it's halfway realistic, where people are not fast traveling and watching the TV show, because when they left Sunfire, it was like, yeah, Sunfire's dead. But it's very possible that Sunfire is still alive within the show, but that would change things. Oh, of course, what they did with Alicent. The Alicent betrayed everybody. Again, it's not the same character that we had from season 1. Season 1, we have to, she said to her son Aegon, "You are the threat. As long as you are alive, you are the threat." And she was doing it for her family and all that. And then at the last second, they changed it to some weird, she thought she heard a prophecy, which was stupid. But she still had a survivor's instinct. Why on earth would she, first of all, be able to fast travel to Dragonstone? And second of all, she betrayed everybody. She sucks. I mean, what a loser. I don't know. What did you think of that change, Steve?
Well, it's some of the changes though, they don't even, well, the only thing they achieve with them is that the previous scenes and previous seasons no longer make any sense. That they're pointless.
Yeah, it's like they didn't watch at the same. Yeah. Oh gosh, don't even get me started. And with Daemon, that's the whole thing about Daemon. It's like they want us to forget episode 10 of season 1. They definitely wanted us to forget episode 9 of season 1. And thank you, DJ Play Nice, for being here and for your support. I do appreciate it. And LJ says, like, all the plotline revolves around the prince that was promised a Song of Ice and Fire. All of them, all be BS. Now, all of them. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They did a bait and switch and turned it into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the prince that was promised that will come from Aegon's bloodline. Arya doesn't come from Aegon's bloodline. She's a Stark.
But I think they're trying to change. They're trying to change it to Daenerys.
Oh,
again,
she didn't kill the Night King at all. She didn't end winter, and she didn't unite people either. That was actually Jon Snow, because they gave Stannis's arc to Jon, and also there is an Aegon Targaryen in the books that's alive. It was Rhaegar's son, so they merged Jon Snow with him and Stannis to save time and money, and they just fucked everything up.
Yeah, total mess. And LJ is pointing out about Helena. What's her place in the show right now? She literally became Game of Thrones Bran 2.0. Yeah, we got Bran now. Who has a better story than Bran? Yeah,
makes you wonder what kind of other things she could have warned everyone about since day one.
Well, apparently they're going to say some BS that they're all now on some big destiny, and everything that they're doing is because they know about the Dream of Ice and Fire, which is completely antithetical to what George R. R. Martin's writings are all about. That people's actions have consequences, that people are masters of their own destinies. No, here they're literally having their version of God, the gods, or whoever's sending these dreams, just coming in and moving them all around like chess pieces.
Yeah, it's like, here, oh, you don't know what to do? Here's the walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a let's play of what's going to happen later.
Yep.
Use that, and, you won't step in it.
Correct. Yes, good point about Alice Rivers. Like, what's even her point? Because she's technically Team Green, so I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do? They're probably not going to do her story with Aemond. Speaking of Aemond, also, what was the point of introducing Aemond in season 1, where he's calm and smart and not a complete villain? Now he's just his book version. Yeah. Well, and again, when we say that we want like things to be faithful, we don't mind if they add things. Like, for example, Viserys is a good example, and if they wanted to go in different directions like what they were doing with Aemond, that would have been okay. But yeah, now all of a sudden, not only did he become a mustache twirling villain, but he's allegedly lost his confidence, his crap last episode or something, and now he's just like desperate. I don't even know what on earth that even is.
I don't know.
Yeah, Bushmaster, I think you're right. I hope you're wrong, but Duncan Egg will also revolve around season 8 100%. What do you think, Steve?
Um, I don't know, because from what I saw, the season 1, which is going to be just 6 episodes, I think, will be based only on the first short story, and that one has nothing to do with anything. But here's the thing: that there's only 3 short stories, so that's 3 seasons, assuming they use them. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start having, Egg have visions and stuff like that. Um, and here's the thing: we don't know how Egg died. I happen to think Egg is Varys, actually, um,
Mm.
because he keeps Varys keeps wearing perfume and powder and stuff, and I think it's to hide the fact that he is kind of like Melisandre. He's in all effect dead,
Yeah,
same as her.
could be
That's
because of
this
that
is
weird.
my Yeah, that's just my personal theory. But it would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yes. Well, it makes sense from what you say. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but that there was that big fire and
Yeah, it's Summerhall. And you know what else? The first sentence in the books, that when Varys shows up, is that he's described he's bald as an egg. That's what it says.
mhm.
That's the first description of Varys.
And we know that there was some sort of weird magic thing going on because they were trying to bring the dragons back to life. Like, so there
Yeah.
could have been some magic going on there, some blood magic or something that was really something that wasn't cool. Speaking of which, LJ said, Egg sees the cat's paw dagger in a vision, realizes he should be king to pave the way for the prince that was promised. You got it. That's what it's going to be. I bet you you're right. Just before he drinks wildfire, Arian says, winter is coming to Egg. Oh, dear.
You
For
know,
the,
Bloodraven's whole story is fucked too, because uh, of the the vision of the you know that Aegon supposedly had,
yeah.
or the prince that was promised and stuff like that. So yeah, Bloodraven being the old guy in the cave that trained Bran, most likely a big fat villain, by the way, but the show ignored that. So that whole arc is being trashed as well, which means they're actually, by tying it into the original show, they're also screwing up the original show. Well
Yeah.
done.
It's just a big mess. I wonder, there is a small part of me that wonders if George, after being screwed over the second time, really put his foot down for Duncan Egg because he seems to be pretty enthusiastic about it. And I cannot believe that he would be dumb enough to be fooled 3 times. He's not a stupid man. So maybe. Bushmaster, yes, about Corliss. Yes, they took away Corliss's thing. First of all, they didn't even have him bring the boys to be legitimized by Rhaenyra, because that's what happened. The whole story of him with his sons, or maybe his sons, his grandsons, and because of the way it was written in the book with the ages, it still could have been Leonor's sons. Either way, they are of his blood. And he brought the boys forward at the Red Sowing. The reason why he waited allegedly is because of ratings. He was doing it out of consideration for his wife, and it's absurd. that they took that away from them. They took that away from the actors who played Alan and Adam. The actor who played Alan, I'd gotten confused with Adam. He had actually said how he was kind of excited about doing something. He said this in an interview that he had said that to Ryan Condal, and that Ryan Condal had gone, "Oh, well, you're not going to be doing that." And it's like, dude, because he goes up against Sheep Stealer and gets burned for it, and so he lost that scene. And then Corliss goes before Rhaenyra with Jace, and they petition her to legitimize the two boys, and they become the heirs of the Driftmark. It's a great arc. They should have done that in this episode. Could they have just completed one story in it? Like 3 seconds it would have taken.
Well, Bushmaster has a good point. Corliss has been on the docks for like half the season.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that he named his ship the Queen That Never Was, I mean, really, it really is, and sadly, becoming the whole, it's got to be all about the women. And it's like, it doesn't have to be. It could be about everybody. Everybody, don't get me started on Rainey's episode 9, destroyed her character, and she's just a hypocrite who advocates for peace. Exactly. Yes, they don't see the logical, not conclusions, a consecutive storytelling. It's like, if this happens, that has to happen. You can't have Rainey's in episode 9 and then just say, forget about it.
You know what else, though, with Corliss? You can actually tell that all his scenes at the dock were filmed the same damn day. Because the lighting is it's the same lighting, same weather, and same time of day, and he's pretty much in the same spot too. So they just shot all his scenes there, and you can tell it's sloppy as hell. It's like, oh yeah, you met the other guy in the exact same spot 10 times in a row, right? And in the weather was exactly the same, and it was the same time of day every time.
It's incredibly lazy. And hello, thank you for being here. I always mispronounce it and make a fool of myself. So thank you. Always great to see you. And thank you for your support. Yeah, Mayleys is loved by the smell folk. Yes. These poor actors, because I think they're good actors. And you're right about you're right about them just being sent the laziness. I mean, imagine, already we know that the guy who plays Alan is like, oh crap, I lost one of my cool scenes. But his acting and Corliss's acting was great on the dock. I mean, the best dock acting you've ever seen.
The only bad actor on the show is that what's her name, Misseria, the one that can't decide which accent to use because she had a different accent last season.
You're correct. I think because no one understood a word that she said. Yes, blood guilty gaming. Thank you. Yeah, part of it, the different caps always messes me up. Yes, you are correct. Bushmaster, also, I guess King's Island is on an island and can only get their food through the sea. Well, yes and no. The whole blockade thing, it was an issue because that is how so much did come through. But if you're just going by logic in the TV show, you are correct. Far too many.
That also undermines the other show. Because remember in season 8 when they attacked King's Landing? It was like a huge open field in front of the gate. Right?
Yeah.
But in season 2, Stannis had to attack through Blackwater Bay to get his troops in. But according to season 8, now there's a huge open space right outside the gate and you don't even see the gate from when you see the wide shots of King's Landing. There's no field there at all. But if they're going to tie it into the other show, they have to have like a huge open space field with a big gate. So yeah, they can bring food in there.
Yeah.
See how,
you see people just going in and out.
Yeah,
You see people just going in and out too. I mean, look at what they did with Allison. She was just able to go on a camping trip.
yeah. But yet food can't come in. You can't go on a camping trip and bring back some ducks.
Good point. And she
Yeah,
swam too. She went for a swim. Did Hugh
yeah.
just abandon his wife? Bushmaster, sort of.
Makes you wonder, where she went swimming. Do you think there's fish there
Oh yeah,
that
there we
they
go.
could
Bring
have?
some fish.
Yeah,
Well,
like
they don't
everyone could have fished.
they don't care about the peasants. They suck. Did Hugh
Yeah,
just
well,
abandon his wife?
but the peasants too could have gone fishing
But
right there in the lake that nobody's guarding.
but they weren't allowed to go out. Remember that was a thing. But then again, they also then showed everyone going out to join the red sewing, so it just doesn't make sense.
Oh,
Yes, did Hugh just abandon his wife? Yes and no. I think they showed it well. I have no problem with how they did it in the show, where he basically said, "Yes, I'm going to leave, but I'm going to be a lord. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to come back for you, and you're going to be a lady." So that scene I thought was set up well, and I have no problem with it. And undercover missions, yes. How many undercover missions can we have? Makes no sense. Correct.
yeah. It's I've said this before. If you want to write a good story, right? You
Yeah.
as a writer have to be able to always explain to the reader or the viewer who, how, and why.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that, you have a solid story. And with uh, with later adaptations of stuff or new shows or whatever, they always screw up the how, right?
Yeah.
How could they, you know, not be able to eat when everything, there's a lake right there. Send out some soldiers to fish for the people or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't do it. So
Yeah.
it's always the how, you know. How could Luke Skywalker die from a force overdose when it's impossible to do that? Because you don't
And they
drink the
say,
force, you guide the force. You don't drink it,
yeah.
you
And they
know.
say because plot. Um, Let me see here. And another thing that they messed up because they made Aegon and Viserys so young that they can't do what they're supposed to do in the Battle of the Gullet next season. And yes, they really wanted us to just they really just wanted us to just wait 2 seasons. And yeah, absolutely nothing happens. And this is the point. Can't the writers wait until Rhaenyra takes King's Landing and they can do all the scenes they want? Yeah, and that's what I thought they were going to do. Yeah, I've already lost hope for this show. It's ridiculous. But because they made the kids so young, and I think they did all this crap on purpose, now what they're going to be doing is they're going to be going ahead and having Rhaena take the role of Aegon the Younger and having her claiming sheep stealer and no Nettles. I mean, the fact that they are leaving out Nettles is probably the biggest mistake that they have done. And even if they decide after all the backlash to change their minds in season 3, the damage is already done. They had Rhaena wandering around in a field in the Vale, for crying out loud, not starving to death, not dying of exposure, not being attacked, and finding sheep stealer. After George R. R. Martin told us all that there wouldn't be dragons in the Vale. So this is another because plot situation.
Yeah, if they had dragons in the Vale, the dragons would have eaten everything, and they, if dragons migrate, you have a huge damn problem
Mm-hmm.
with the whole lore.
Yeah. And that's what George R. R. Martin said. He said dragons would be actually all over, and other noble houses would have gone ahead and claimed them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bushmaster points out, yeah, they can't keep up with their timeline. In episode 1, we see Jace at Winterfell. He finds out Luke is dead. We are told to spend 2 weeks between seasons, so the Winter Wolves arrive in 2 weeks from Winterfell. I can't even keep track. You're right. How many scenes do we need of her looking for Sheep Stealer? Yeah, and it's been going on for 3 episodes. And for those that don't know about Nettles, I mean, I'm going to be doing a special one just about Nettles, but I've already talked about them leaving her out in many of my videos because Nettles is Sheep Stealers, and Alan was unable to claim Sheep Stealer. He's the one that gets burned. So rather, Sheep Stealer is the one that burns him. And then Nettles comes up with a really clever idea of, instead of trying to claim him the old-fashioned way, she feeds him sheep. She brings him sheep every day, kind of like what you do with a doggy. Yeah, it's like, oh, want to be my friend? You bring him a treat. And she claims him, and it's really epic. And she's a great character. She's a streetwise Black character that's actually written as Black, and she does a great many things with Damon. And because they've left her out and her part of the story, we now know that they're not going to end Damon's story properly. When they were doing that thing where he was kneeling before her, almost exactly the same thing that we saw in the episode 10 of season 1, when he was doing that, and she's like, don't ever leave me again. It's like, first of all, bitch, you were the one that sent him off. And second of all, he's now cucked, so it doesn't even matter. But they even said they wanted to make this about their marriage. Listen, Damon and Rhaenyra's marriage is not like a great love story, okay? He groomed her. He's her uncle. He groomed her. One could argue, her, put his hands on her when he definitely should not have, and then married her. It's not a love story. And part of what goes on with Nettles proves that, but I guess they don't want to do that. What's wrong with these people? What's the point of casting Cregan Stark if he is on for 2 minutes? We could have just been told via Jace that he agreed to help Rhaenyra. Well, I think we all know about that.
They wanted a member barrier so we could see the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all it takes these days. It's to dangle the keys.
Mm-hmm.
People go, oh, this is the best show ever. It's the wall. Yay. Yep. Nobody thinks about the story at all. They think about events, not what leads to events.
Yeah. Now, Cregan does some cool stuff later. And with Black Alley, the left out Black Alley. And yes, we're talking about other things, but all of this is a part of the review for episode 8, because this episode 8 just shows how this is all just completely falling apart. But I want to say a little bit about Shiroko Lahar of Lice. He's a man. He is an admiral and does some pretty intense things in the Battle of the Gullet. I will be doing a spoiler video about that for those that haven't done it, but definitely a man. The character that they decided to do because they thought it would be funny, Roncalio Rhindoon, he's a character, he has like several wives. He likes to dress like a woman, though he is still a man. And does all that mud wrestling and all that silly stuff. So they decided to combine that and then throw Tyland in there because we have to have another humiliation ritual. Tyland Lannister is actually quite badass and will be doing some awesome things toward the end of the story. But what did they do? They just made him a laughing stock with stupid mud wrestling. And all we're thinking is, quit the mud wrestling, quit this stupid stuff. First of all, why turn Shiroko Lahar into a chick? Once again, they're taking a male character and ruining it and trying to mix it in with a character that's a pirate. They're even saying like it's a pirate admiral. It's like he's not a... But
I think you missed one thing there, though. They had the characters say, oh yeah, I could have your babies or something. Yeah, male pregnancy statement right there.
No, wait. What Shiroko Lahar, well, the fake one, said on the show, I want you to impregnate my wives.
I thought he said, you're going to give me babies.
Yes, and then he said, you're going to sleep with my wives.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, and that's what Roncalio did. Yes,
Well,
because I guess it is supposed to be a woman.
could have impregnated them himself.
Yeah, but I think in the show it's I think in the show it's supposed to be. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what I'm saying. It's just so confusing. And yes, can't wait for Daron, the son of Allison and Kristen Cole. You think they're gonna go there? Oh my gosh, what if they do? Because just kill me. Well, no, don't kill me now, but oh my gosh. Otto Hightower. Oh yeah, Otto Hightower just shows up in a cage and no one knows why.
Yeah, it's you know what? I bet you that they thought people would go, "Oh my God, he's in a cage. Who put him there? Why?" But the result, from what I'm seeing, is like, okay, so that's Otto Hightower in a cage, whatever. Nobody gave a damn. I've been seeing comments about it all day. It wasn't the big wow shock thing that they thought it would be.
Yeah. Well, most people are
It was
just
more
like,
like,
what the hell?
what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not in a good way. It, if you're going to show
yeah. It
something, you
was
have to at
kind of
least
like
give it
a,
some context.
yeah, some kind of build up. All we know that is that he's been gone, and then like 5 episodes later, oh, he's in a cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't have been there long though, because his beard was the same length. But
Yeah. They robbed us of Otto versus Lakar mud wrestling. Did. Oh, is that what they're trying to do? Oh, for that it was Lakar that had him in the hold. Oh,
I
gee,
don't
oh
know.
man. I don't know either. See, that's the point. You shouldn't be sitting here guessing. My gosh. All right. I almost want to rewatch, except I think it might be a waste of my time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch season 3. I don't give a shit. There's so many
Mhm.
other shows to watch that are competently made. I don't have to watch. And you know what? Here's the funny thing: they marketed this season as it's going to be all out war, right?
Mhm.
And then no, it's just procrastinating, and apparently there's going to be war in the next season. 2 years from now,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Waste of
the
time.
payoff will be in 2 years.
Yes. Speaking of which, mhm. Yeah, it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse on the rewatch. Is it getting too woke with all the female added characters? Well, yes and no, because there are plenty of female characters in the show. That's not what, in my humble opinion, is making it going woke. It's starting to go woke in that they are not wanting to have the women do anything bad. They want to have, oh, secretly, Allison is good and wants to save everyone and not have a war and go Team Black. I just can't even. But the whole Shariko Lahar, that was their, they decided that they wanted to do that kind of a character because Emma Darcy, while she is identifying as non-gender, I forget which it is, but she's not playing that character. She's playing a woman, so they decided to try to bring that into the show, which once again takes you out of the story. Because does it add anything to the story? No.
Yeah, and they had that Roe versus Wade thing in season 1, which they admitted was what they
Ye-
were doing. So, like, yeah, the rest of the world, that's really relevant for us, But I don't know. It's,
yeah. Well, they didn't even do it well because I'm like, if you're trying to make a case for that, you're not showing it very well. You're actually doing the opposite. But
yeah, it's like they got the idea from Reddit or something.
yeah. Oh, Bushmaster's calling it now. Don't expect 2 battles per season, so season 3 will only have the gullet. I bet you 100% Ulf will kill Jace. Won't be surprised if that happens, which is absurd because no one can just die in battle. Hello, Positive Candor. Thanks for being here. They complain that the dragons are expensive to film. How do they plan Aegon's conquest? I don't know.
Yeah, uh, it is true though. Uh, People think CGI is cheap and all.
Mhm.
It might have been back in the day, in the beginning. Now it's an insane amount of man hours that goes into it. So the CGI we're seeing now is expensive as hell, and it's not a shortcut anymore.
Mm-mm.
It isn't. But if they had done the battle now, they could have killed off some characters and saved money on actors. But nope. Instead, they just cut the episodes.
Yeah, it was the equivalent of what they did with The Sopranos. Like, something's about to happen, and then it goes to black. Why should we wait 2 years? But it'll do well. I think that it's done fantastic in ratings. So they're going to continue to do it, and people are going to continue watching it. And frankly don't care. People are going to deserve the ending that they get.
Yeah, and the audience complain about lazy writing, and rightfully so. But they're the people who you know complain the most tend to be the first one in line to watch the lazy writing. So, in a sense, Hollywood is actually giving the audience what they want because uh, the audience have lowered the standards by blindly accepting anything. You know,
Mhm.
if
Yeah,
if you have dinner guests that'll swallow anything, it doesn't matter what you cook.
yeah. I'll say this. Back in the day, I was sort of a Disney show when I was co-running Once Upon a Fan. We were always completely honest, even, and they never held it against us. But these websites, for their access and these bigger channels, they're they're praising when they shouldn't be praising, because I think that they're probably rightly afraid that they'll lose their screeners. But I mean, have some dignity. If you really love the writing, just say it. I just don't understand, because the same people that have been complaining about Game of Thrones episodes, rather seasons 5 through 8, are the same people that are right now praising this show. But then again, I must be fair. I need to watch a few more reviews. Maybe they will change their minds at this point, because I think they
Oh,
kind of have to.
I think a lot of them will change their minds based on you know they want to do damage control. It's like shit. This wasn't as good as we told everyone it was going to be, and now we don't look good having praised crap. So
Hmm. Probably the coolest thing that George R. R. Martin could do at this point, release The Winds of Winter. That would be epic. Because then who gives a F? Positive Candor says they are going to drag this show out as long as possible, slow burning us to death. Absolutely. Yeah, they're fierce lazy. Fierce lazy. Yes. Hey, Adego Outlaw. Thank you for being here. I don't know. George picked Ryan. So, well, I think that he fooled him, because he was all on board, but this season he has been throwing shade at them the whole time. So, George, it's your fault. You got fooled twice. And I'm not necessarily a big defender of George R. R. Martin, because I'm not so sure about his discernment, for reasons. If you've seen some of his Nada blogs, and maybe he is that stupid. Maybe he just goes along with his emotions. I've seen some evidence where he will do that. So maybe he just keeps believing. He believed Benioff and Weiss. He believed Ryan Condal. And hello, Tommy. Thank you for being here. Great to see you. Thank you, everyone who is here. If you wouldn't mind commenting after the stream and subscribing, it does helps me out. And I want to maybe reach some more people. I have been getting a lot of comments in my chat. And I'm going to give a bit of a shout out because I was complimented as being one of the people that has actually been speaking out about this all along. But Steve has been one of the OGs doing so. So has, according to Christy, and on Sporking's stream, we have been calling it out, as well as on Prophet of the Dragon, Salty Traveling Sea. We have been speaking out saying this is where it's going. And we were right. We were right. Positive Candor, I understand why you might go in this direction. I'm definitely not watching the Duncan Egg spinoff show. Because even if season 1 is good, that's how I got tricked into watching House of the Dragon. Season 1 was mostly good, so it's like, oh, okay, it's okay to watch it. And then season 2 comes around. Season 2 is always the test of a show. Because what they do is, you've told me this, Steve, that they start off good season 1, and then in season 2, that's when they go off the rail.
Yeah, it's like clockwork. They'll stick to the source material for season 1, fairly closely, because they want to keep the book readers as viewers, and they want the book readers to praise it. Season 2, that's when they start using the characters and everything else as a little personal sandbox. I mean, it happened with The Witcher. The season 1 was kind of close to the source material. Season 2 is not at all.
Yeah, exactly. Fullest 5,000 times. Bushmaster, there was a Blu-ray audio leak from Game of Thrones and Dungeons and Dragons. D&D, Benioff is wise. Talk with Amelia Clark, and she asked about her character. They say they planned it from season 3, which is grade A. Boo, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Or they had planned it and they kept it from people, because George was on board until season 4, and then something happened. I don't know if it's official what happened, that he was ousted or left.
No, he was told they didn't need him anymore after season 4. So, and season 5, 6, 7, and 8, he has no involvement at all.
Yeah, well, you can tell he doesn't, because well, yeah, it's pretty messed up. Let's see, what else? Is there anything we missed? We've already talked about the fast travel, and I was dozing off spacing out rather, when Rhaenyra and Alicent were talking. I'm like, I don't give a crap what you all are saying. What the hell? Were we supposed to care? Well, I don't know. I sure as heck didn't. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to read a little bit about Roncalli and Rhindoon in a second, but let me see here. Miss Martin, hence why I avoid watching a news show unless it's a few seasons and hear good things I won't bother. Yeah, I guess we have to wait till season 2. But here's the deal about, his name is Rocalio Rhindoon, native city of Tyrosh. Surprisingly little is known of his youth, and much of what we believe we know is false or contradictory. He was 6.5 feet tall, supposedly, with one shoulder higher than the other, giving him a stooped posture and a roiling gait. He spoke a dozen dialects of Valyrian, suggesting he was highborn, but he was infamously foul-mouthed too, suggesting he came from the gutters. And in the fashion of many Tyroshi, he was wont to dye his hair and beard. Purple was his favorite color, hinting at the possibility of a tie to Bravos. And most accounts of him make mention of long, curling purple hair, off-streaked with orange. He liked sweet scents and would bathe in lavender or rose water. And so, of course, there were aspects of it that they did with Sharika Lahar that are not exact. But he was a glutton and a drunkard when at leisure, a demon when in battle. Though Tyrosh was a slave city, he hated slavery, suggesting perhaps that he himself had come from bondage. He had a dozen wives and never beat them. But He would sometimes command them to beat him. He loved kittens and hated cats. He loved pregnant women but loathed children. From time to time, he would dress in women's clothing and play the though his height and crooked back and purple beard made him more grotesque than female to the eye. Sometimes he would burst out laughing in thick of battle. Sometimes he would sing bawdy songs instead. Roncalio Rindune was mad, yet his men loved him, fought for him, died for him, and for a few short years they made him king. So that's what they kind of tried to push onto Shirkuh-Lahar with obvious results. Yeah. And when people would show up, for example, Alan Oakenfist shows up and he insisted that Lord Alan wrestle with him in a mud pit behind his fort. So that is what this character would do. So they put that onto Shirkuh-Lahar and had Thailand mud wrestle him in the season finale because that was all we wanted. Yeah, Sarah Hess and Ryan Condor are D&D 2.0. Yes, they are cut from the same cloth. I said it once, I said it twice, I'm going to say it again. If people don't call it out, then people need to apologize to Benioff and Weiss for all the nasty things people said about him.
Yeah, it actually is one or the other at this point.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yep. LJ says, Book Alicent, the city is yours, princess. The rats play when the cat is gone, but my son Aemond will return with fire and blood. You see, that's awesome. Can you imagine how cool that final her at the city and Rhaenyra subduing her and her giving that challenge? Oh my gosh. But House of the Dragon, Alicent, we'll open the gates. Here's my son. You can kill him. Exactly. It should have been like Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth I, or perhaps even more accurately, Queen of Scots and Elizabeth I. But the same idea, two powerful women, queens, locked in, this big battle. It's a battle of wits, battle of power. Oh, but no. They all just love each other because they're women.
Yeah.
No, women are and have been just as vicious as everyone else. I'm sorry, Steak?
Yeah, they're so oppressed because gender.
Yeah. It's all the men's fault. All the men's fault. Which is boring writing. What would have been original, dynamic, and stunning and brave would be to have them be just like they're supposed to be. Human beings in their own rights, with their own agency, choosing what they choose to do, with their actions having consequences, just like everyone else. They're making them less of characters by doing this. I might agree with you, Positive Candor. Despite Game of Thrones ending, it is still 1,000 times better than House of the Dragon. I find all of the characters now very uncompelling and frankly dull in comparison to the richness that was at least Game of Thrones. Definitely from the original, like in the first 4 seasons, absolutely. Game of Thrones now gets better than House of the Dragon, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but in the last few seasons, there's like
it's terrible, right?
disorders everywhere. People don't, remember from 5 minutes to 5 minutes.
Yeah. Though I will agree with that thesis in the sense that since they have made House of the Dragons essentially Game of Thrones, the same arc, the same issues, it's all about Daenerys, okay? If you then have to say which was better, Game of Thrones objectively is better because at least Game of Thrones was good for quite a while. Game of Thrones didn't mess up the Red Wedding. Yeah. House of the Dragon is Game of Thrones now. Congratulations, everybody. This is what you wanted. You know what They had the nerve in the stupid behind the scenes thing. I decided to watch it because my personal assistant was with me and we were watching it together and just kind of laughing. And she didn't even watch the show. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can see what you're saying about, I was pointing some things out. They said, by golly, they said, oh yeah. And then they see Daenerys, the hope. It's like, you mean Dragon Mittler? Really?
Oh. You know what's funny? All those idiots that named their kids Daenerys and Khaleesi and stuff. And then season 8 happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh yeah, what a lucky kid. Named after Dragon Hitler.
Mittler.
Yeah.
Please help me out here. All right. Bushmaster. Unpopular opinion. Tywin, apart from Tyrion, cared for his family and house more than Alicent. Yeah. TV show, absolutely. She put her kids up for the slaughter. Well done. But it's also schizophrenic. Because that's not the character that we met in season 1. Positive candor. Basically, after the wedding is where Game of Thrones lost its way, with only that of the Bastards being at least one of the best late season episodes. Well, yes and no. Battle of the Bastards had its issues too, but
Yeah, the whole thing is a plot hole.
Yeah,
you know, it only happens because Stannis commits suicide.
Well, and it wasn't completely plotted out well either, the choreography, but I do understand it was compelling television and had a decent ending. But if the story doesn't go along with it, then it just doesn't work out. And welcome everyone that is here. So it's great to see you all and those that will be watching on the replay. So I already told you a little bit about Roncalio, and well,
But,
I can't really do anything. I'm sorry?
You had Littlefinger's army teleporting onto the battlefield too, even though they were 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
And then they killed them for it because the weird kid in the wheelchair said so.
Yeah. Well, Bushmaster, he's talking about Dany doing horrible things. Yeah, but she at least kind of had a reasonable reason, if that makes sense. Not that it's necessarily good, but all the characters in Game of Thrones were murderers. But at least there was a reason behind it. What they did in season 8, it was just, I heard some bells, so I decided to ruin everything and kill everyone. That was, I mean, it's not even, in my humble opinion, worth talking about too much, only because it does not make sense. It's not good storytelling. Yeah. But again, to talk about Sharako Lahar, it's too much spoilers going on here.
Varys criticized me. We should burn him. You know?
Well, he did more than criticize. He was actually plotting to overthrow her. But again, it says everything that the actor who played Varys just threw down his script.
Yeah, but the guy who played Stannis said that the script looked like a 70s porno.
Yeah,
but
well,
he was
even
on the contract, so he finished.
Yeah, Charles Dance also had issues with it as well.
Oh, the guy who played Sir Barristan, he let fly some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, with some good things. Now, I'm trying to think, is there anything we left out? We talked about, oh gosh, how they just ruined Daemon forever. We talked about the Bastards. We talked about Corlys. Ulf and Hugh so far are accurate. I think they did a good job with them and are setting up what will happen with those characters. Whether they will have the guts to do so, I do not know. We have also, let me see. Oh, a lot of just Days of Our Lives scenes, not just with Alicent and Rhaenyra, but also with Baela and Jace. I mean, I guess it's kind of okay. You know, we wanted to have a nice moment, but again, this is the season finale and we're having Days of Our Lives. What do they call them? Talking in hallways tropes. That's what Prophet of the Dragon was saying. And good point. Also, why does it feel, says LJ, that blood and cheese never happened? That incident was supposed to resonate until after the dance up to Jahara. Yes, it was huge. Yeah, they've changed it. Yeah, they've changed even Game of Thrones positive candor.
Well,
And how does Olivia Cook think
well,
that her script is good? I'll get to that in a second.
Jon Snow wasn't the prince that was promised in the original Game of Thrones show. It's Arya. Jon Snow didn't kill the Night King. Arya did.
I think it's just so incoherent. It's hard to say. Rick's
And she
rest is
used
also
that.
forgettable.
Plus, she used that retarded dagger. So
How does yes? Here's what I'm going to say to this about Olivia Cook, Bushmaster, is that of course she has to say it's good. These people are under contract, and I can say for a fact, knowing actors and them trusting me, so I won't name them, they have publicists that write what they say, and they say what the publicists say for them to say. You are very rarely seeing actors being honest with any of these. It just doesn't happen. They're saying what they're being paid to say. They're actors. They read rows. They read lines. So, yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Oh, look who's here. Oh, dear. We're about ready to get spicy. And please keep the R. Yeah. Remember, I still want to stay monetized, everybody. But help me out here. Look who it is.
Hello.
It is none other than
Hello. I'm sorry. I was working and I was like, well, I need let me check what time Scott is gonna do the live stream tonight. And oh boy, are my DMs about this season finale.
you're vindicated.
It's not so much as vindicated. I just think going into it that I just felt like it was going to be shit. I mean, I can deal with a lot of things in the sense of obviously when you look at Fire and Blood or all this quote unquote source material and stuff like that. I mean, it's based on another POV on the victors and whatnot, but it's just you have the information there that is the blueprint, and like some of it is just, and that last scene was, I'm just like, this is it.
Yeah, it's like The Sopranos, fade to black. And then everyone's like, what? Is something wrong with my TV?
Well, with The Sopranos, you have to, I think, because I'm such a person that like, it comes when I watch stupid like found footage movies or something like that I actually like, and there's no like, well, they died. What was the monster or something like that? I mean, and I get mad when I don't know. But in this instance, with this stuff, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm wondering now how they're going to mess it up.
Yeah, because
like, yeah,
they messed up Blood and Cheese for crying out loud. They messed up Rook's Rest. And
are you talking about everything? Like no cap or anything like that for the spoilers or anything like that?
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. We are going to move into spoiler territory because I think we've covered everything. Oh no! Let me see. Yeah, no. I think we have. So let me put this up here just to be fair.
Let's do this. So I saw the leaks like last week when they came out, and I was like, maybe we'll get better context. No, it was the exact thing I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
the White Walker looked like aging MacGyver.
And what's so funny is I always watch the inside the episode first before I watch the show. Before I watch the episode, and you see the group. What is it? There was like the 20 White Walkers or something, whatever it was, and you see them. I was like, okay, that's an actual person, and they say that they went to the crew from Game of Thrones and stuff like that. I was like, oh hey, yeah, like you sure did, yeah. Yep.
Should White Walkers still be up and about at this point?
Honestly, I mean,
I don't think they
I don't
should.
I don't see why not, but it's just
Well,
it's
no,
not to add to the story. There's
well,
nothing to add.
the wildlings in Game of Thrones say that they were sleeping under the ground or under the ice until now. So they couldn't have been up and about 200 years ago.
Well,
I
I
mean,
thought it was a prophecy. I thought it was just seeing into the future.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, should they shouldn't be up and about.
well, I mean, I for tit for tat for that, I'm not going to look more into. What I and probably everybody else is just like, so she's part of a prophecy, and then a Stark killed the Night King. Like it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's don't even think about it. They're just wanting to go ahead. Hello, Snortapoopus. They're just wanting to tie it into Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire. Who knows? Maybe it was part of what HBO demanded. I don't know. But they just wanted to show, oh, look, Song of Ice and Fire. Oh, look, the White Walkers. That's why we have to do what we're doing.
And
And I think we can't think too hard about it.
and then with Damon's bitch ass, winter is coming. Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
winter's
we have,
coming. It's going to last for a week.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
And it's important to our story.
I love, oh, again, just going into this episode, I was just like, you know what? What did they do behind the scenes? The character, the guy who plays Ulf, is that how you say Ulf? When he with another bird or whatever it is, or it was, I was watching inside the episode, and it was a quail, and that fool ate 30 quails, 30 different for those scenes, and I was just like, I like these actors, and I just the one Tom Gillian, whatever his name is, he plays Aegon, and you have Laris. I don't. They're just given the material that they have to go on and stuff like that. I just it's not that, and I see some people saying, "Oh, with Olivia Cook this," or uh, what is Rhaenyra's
Emma Darcy.
Emma Darcy, or just Matt, or the guy who plays Kristen, like all of that stuff. I don't, or the character who's supposed to be ambiguous, from the triarchy. Like, I don't give two shits. I don't give two shits about that. It's the overall story that is. It's what?
Yeah.
That.
Well, they're not even staying consistent within their own story.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
From episode to episode, it's. I keep saying the joke that they need to leave post-it notes for each of the script writers. It's like, this is what happened. It's like they're given their episodes and they just write. They don't even look at what happened before, what happened after. There's no consistency.
It's just they talk about, like, with George's story writing, and we always go back to the books. I'm like, really?
Oh yeah, well that's what those guys from Rings of Power keep trying to say too.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all saw, but it's the show is going to end with season 4, so
yeah,
we'll have season 3 in 2026, and then season 4 2028.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, screw that. Yeah. Though the pacing is correct for that, since we haven't even had the Battle of the Gullet or Red Fork, it makes sense. Yeah. So season 3 and all this that's supposed to happen, and then the ending and the aftermath, season 4, it should work. But these are the same people that spent 5 episodes with nothing happening, including the finale, as Outlaw Bill says hello. I mean, like, what the hell?
It's just Damon being in Harrenhal for so long. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, he was supposed to be at the Battle of
Who-
Burning Mill leading them. He was the one that got all the coalition together. The banners already came to him. And at this point, he should be out marching and ready for the Red Fork. I don't know. But, of course, the big one, they left out Nettles. So now Damon... Are they gonna try to make it that Damon and Rhaenyra stay together? You know, are they gonna? Because you know it's Nettles. It's the whole reason why he kind of turns again. Everyone. One of the reasons he was done with it, and it was alleged that perhaps they were lovers. But either way, they definitely had a stronger relationship between the two of them at the end, and they also. Him cheating with Misery and Rhaenyra being okay with that. I've already said that they're going to try to make it into a menage a trois. But
well, here's the thing: they didn't read the books; they read the wiki pages.
Hell, but even the wiki pages has that.
Even the wiki pages have more information than this shit.
Yeah, but they read the wiki pages so they could figure out how to use everything as their own sandbox.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But
same thing happened with The Witcher.
Yeah. Well,
that is
at least.
Go ahead.
Complete your point there, and I'll say what I'm.
Well, it's just I have to laugh at this because I'm going to be very honest, and because I don't give two craps, it's just you have the people that were praising this show that we know and still talk to, or people even just outside, and then you say the whole Star Wars with the acolyte thing that it was. I
know
I can't stand that.
They basically bashed the acolyte for doing the same stupid shit that this show is doing, and they praise this one.
But that's where it ends for me, is just because I don't know Star Wars. I don't know that source material and stuff like that. So all I know is when I watch the acolyte, the one chick who looks like she's trying to be a praying mantis. I don't know how her fighting style is, but it looks like a praying mantis to me. It's weird. It's a weird show, and when you go into fantasy shows and magic and stuff like that, you should be a custodian to that and do it the justice that it deserves. Because if not, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
You know what? If you're writing a show, let's just Star Wars. You're writing a Star Wars show,
yeah,
and you do a shit job, right? You don't invest a single thought into the lore and continuity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You not only screw up your own show, you screw up everyone else's show too, because it's connected.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, and they need to do so at their peril, because despite what anyone says, Benioff and Weiss are done after what they did to Game of Thrones. Because their next show, that 3-body problem, no one was watching that. And I guess that they only have like one more season to finish it up. So these people, they need to be careful, because if they had at least done it well, or done as well as they even did in season 1, they would be friggin' heroes. They would be getting offers the rest of their lives, but they're going to become a laughingstock. And it's just, how are they going to get to the point where, obviously there's spoilers here, so be careful, people. How are they going to get to this point where Aegon is going to feed Rhaenyra to the dragon? And he does it in the coolest way ever. But
it's kind of hard to...
You know what?
I'm
I
trying so
don't
hard
think
not to cuss.
I don't think they're gonna be laughing stocks because they have a certain amount of million people
That watch the
that
show
that
and will
yeah that
continue.
that, that blindly cheer for it without even a single thought to the story.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
oh
it's okay to
wow,
cuss,
dragon!
but there's just certain words, Christy, that like the R word. Like I said, you can say the F bomb and they won't have a problem if they have a problem with the R word.
I'm not allowed to use
I
my
just
favorite word anymore. Damn it!
Yeah, but
I
here's
was like, there's words around that, but I don't want to do it. But like, it like he literally says Sunfire was killed. Now, if he didn't say that, then then in season 4, if she ends up being killed by a dragon or like that makes no sense. That'll
no.
make no sense. And they would be very, very stupid if they brought Sunfire back at this
Well,
point. Because no, they can't. They literally said that he was killed. That Sunfire, that dragon is dead. You cannot. There is no point at this going forward that Aegon can maybe think about him. But if they try to like, oh wait, he wasn't. Wait. Maybe he thought I thought he was dead. No, you said he was dead.
well, but he doesn't know that. You see, this is one thing that I'll give them a little bit of leeway. Everyone says he's dead, but no one, it's not been confirmed he's dead. Like, this is where if they want to pull it out of their butts, I can forgive them because Aegon was passed out. He wouldn't know. He wouldn't have been there. And
Yeah,
they all
but
thought,
why wouldn't anyone tell him though to give him some bit of good news?
well, remember the timeline right now.
Exactly.
They changed their minds about how many time passes.
But
I mean, look at how quickly he healed.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But if in Rook, but then but no, absolutely not. I disagree with that wholeheartedly because in Rook's Rest, you see Kristen when he regains consciousness and he's calling Aemon's name. You see him doing his pointy dagger and pointing to Aegon and that dragon. That dragon is down. And not those two are not going to be the only ones that see that dragon is down and that dragon has been killed. So in my opinion, that Sunfire is gone.
Okay. I don't know because at this point I don't know what
well,
they're going to be doing, but it has to happen because they have already tied it into Game of Thrones, and it is canon that stupid Egypt, Joffrey says that the dragon Rhaenyra is fed to Aegon's dragon.
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to end it. I bet you they're going to change it, and somehow Rhaenyra goes off into the sunset with Alicent,
Yeah.
and then they say, "But we're going to make up a story that she was fed to the dragon so that she can live. You know, the history will leave them alone so they can go off and be lesbians together." I bet you that's what they're going to do.
I wouldn't bet against
Hold
that.
on.
Yeah, no problem.
My internet is being weird. So
Understandable. Oh, Lady Wolf is saying hello that House of Dragon isn't doing good at the ratings. Oh, I thought it was, but what do I know? Because sometimes they're not always as honest as they could be. Because ratings are weird now that we have streaming.
Yeah,
Yeah. But either way, it's going to be all the men's fault, even if
the
they do
ratings
have
themselves.
what?
Oh, she came in and we lost her again.
I just said I don't pay attention to the ratings because you just never know.
Yeah, they can be manipulated.
I thought she
but
asked if we had towels.
That's what it sounded like, actually. Yeah.
Like I have no idea. I'm hardwired in, by the way. See what I
LJ
mean?
says-
I'm hardwired in on my computer. There's so yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, but sorry. Yeah. Allison claims the dragon slays the Night King with an air, make out, and live happily ever after. I at this point, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? They're gonna have Helena run off with Kragan Stark. Hardwires and
Remember
not.
in,
Oh, got you. Thank you.
Remember in the original show after season was during season 5, I think, after Stannis was dead. Actually, probably season 6. Davos is at the wall and goes, "Yeah, we need to unite everyone against the Night King." And like the word Night King had never been said in the show before whatsoever. Where did it come from? All of a sudden, everyone knew. Oh yeah, the White Walker leader he's called the Night King. Only Jon Snow had seen him at that point, but yeah, the name had never been used before at all.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, now I remember another part that I wanted to talk about. Randomly, the Allison's brother just has a sword at Kristen Cole's neck and is saying, "You slept with my sister." And I'm like, who told you and how did you find out?
He had her favor, remember?
Well, but you can have a favor without meaning you having slept with somebody. They do that all the time where they get favors from queens and things and keep them with them. It's a
Maybe he felt the tension. He knew something was there.
Oh, gives a new meaning to hey, can I ask you a favor?
No. Or maybe he watched episode 1. He watched episode 1 and that's how he knew it.
Yeah, probably.
And then of course and then Kristen Cole spoils it all. It's like, yeah, we're all just gonna die. We're gonna have these big battles, and yeah. I don't mind Kristen Cole the way he is right now, kind of being a bit depressed and resigned, because we know what's going to happen to him at the Beggar's Feast, or it's the Beggar's Feast, Beggar's Ball, I forget, whatever it is.
He probably knows too.
Oh, maybe Helena sent him a message, sent him an email.
Well, everyone seems to know what the audience knows, so
yeah.
Damn good actor, though.
Oh yeah. Jeannie Mac. Do you think that they're going to continue with the story with Alice Rivers and Aemond? Or do you think they're just not going to do it?
Oh, they have to, because she's the only one in Westeros that has a Scottish accent. So they need the diversity. It's like one person in Westeros has that accent in both shows.
Oh, yeah, and remember when it wasn't too long ago that everyone was saying she was a ghost because of the way they were showing it?
Yeah.
It's like they don't even realize what they're doing with. They don't see it through the eyes of people that aren't in on the inside. Like, for example, whenever I would write something, I would give it to somebody that had no idea what I was talking about to give me insight. So that's how you can tell. It's like, hey, does this make any sense to you as someone that, you know, is not as on the inside as I am? Why haven't they done something like that? It's like they're assuming that everyone knows what they're thinking. And man, those inside the episode, I don't know if you heard how many times they said, we wanted, we thought, ha, wasn't that funny when we did this? It's like, there's more than 4 people on the planet, jerks.
Yeah, that's actually a sign of a bad storyteller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you don't get that because we were thinking that. Didn't put it on paper very well, but
Aegon scene where he's like, "Yeah, I don't have a cock anymore. It got burned up like a sausage."
Yeah, burst like a sausage. And lo and behold, it's going to happen to one of the Greyjoys later.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. That writing was so stupid as hell, but honestly, it was hilarious to me.
You know what? If I got burned like that and I'm in the hospital, I'm not just going to lie there and, when someone visits me and go, yeah, my dick, it got burned. So it burst like a sausage. I wanted you to know that.
Yes. It's just terrible writing. I think they thought, haha, remember how Tyrion used to say things about junk and things, so we need
Yeah.
to do it too.
If Aegon was telling that to his like Kingsguard or something like that, I can see that. But
You know
the
what
Grand
Tyrion didn't
Maester,
do? Tyrion didn't tell funny stories about his missing nose.
That's true.
yeah, half the people don't realize that Tyrion is missing a fucking nose in the books.
Yeah, like this one time when I was flying my dragon, my dick burst. Fun story, really. It's like an event.
The scene. Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's your show. You go.
Oh no. All right. Well, I just heard you. Heard you pause. I think that it would be the equivalent of if Tywin had survived and like, remember when my son shot me on the toilet? Wasn't that hysterically funny?
Yeah, shot me in the crotch. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Right
wow,
after I
so
slept
shit.
with her.
Yep.
Yeah. Sleeping with a hooker is bad for your dick.
It sure is. What was the name of this episode?
Oh my gosh.
Bert.
Brace yourself.
Oh God.
The Queen Who Ever Was.
Wait, what?
I'm not making that up. The Queen Who Ever Was. Instead of, the Queen Who Never Was, the Queen Who Ever Was.
Yeah, really clever at that.
You should see me tilting my head to the side like a damn dog right now. Like, what?
The Queen Who Ever Was. Because, Rhaenyra, Rhaenys, remember Rhaenys? And Corlys is going to name his ship after her. The Queen.
Did he name the ship that, or did he name the ship the Queen Who Never Was?
He named the ship the Queen Who Never Was after his wife, but they named the episode the Queen Who Ever Was, because don't you see it's such a connection, because Rhaenyra is the Queen Who Ever Was, which is going to make it even more ridiculous when we find out when she takes King's Landing that she is going to be the worst queen on the planet and loses it all within 6 months.
Yeah.
Or they're not going to do that.
Or they're not going to do that. So I can already see, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Ulf is going to be, he's going to get mad at Jace or something's going to happen where, like his story. But I think with Hugh, either his wife and her family, where was it, Tumblewood or something like that? I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, I think that someplace,
or like his wife gets killed, or he comes to find out more about the whole blockade and stuff like that, and with that Rhaenyra and the Team Black did it, and that's why his daughter died. But at the same time, his daughter being dead wasn't really mentioned, so, or if it was in passing. So honestly, you never know. But that is my theory about Hugh the Hammer, or Hugh Hammer, whatever what you want to call him.
Yeah. Well, they already knew though that Rhaenyra had been the one who blockaded the city.
Steve, you know that, and I know that, and Steve knows that. But with this show, you just never know.
That's true. Or what they'll do is they'll have his wife die, because that was part of the reason why he was doing what he was doing, was to do that for her. now that their daughter's gone. Yeah, they did mention it in passing. Oh yeah, now that she's dead, even though we missed it, it just oh gosh, it just hit me. It just really hit me. What they are going to do is they're not going to have it that Rhaenyra sucks at being a queen. They're going to have it that the men are obstructing her at every turn. They're obstructing her, damn it. And if it weren't for the men, she would be able to be a good queen.
Yep.
Hi,
So
Bronx, Grodd, and Maza.
so with Aemon is just Aemon, but you see towards the very end of Daemon's vision, Helena comes in, and then you see Helena standing in the Red Keep or standing outside or looking down below, gazing and all that stuff. I mean, was she just right there? Was that, were we supposed to take it as like she was doing that right then and there and telling him that, or was it just like I didn't understand that.
I didn't get it either because it didn't make any darn sense. That why is she even in his dreams? And are they trying to make it that she's been manipulating things all along? That she's been in control of this? And that she and Alice Rivers are working together? Or
That actually means that she's more powerful than Bran and Bloodraven. Because Bloodraven can only send that crow thing in a dream, nothing else.
I never understood that, because technically, she thought with her being half Hightower and stuff like that, yeah, she has Andal, but at the same time, she does have first men, distant first men, but it's still first men. So like, and so does Bloodraven. He has Targaryen and first men. So like,
because he's a green seer, and
Yeah.
Bloodraven had used actual sorcery
yeah.
back in the day. You know,
What was the point of seeing Bloodraven? Also,
I don't know.
well, there was not a point to anything. Well, there's not a point to this either.
Wait, Bloodraven was in the episode?
yes, in Daemon's vision.
Oh, I remember seeing a pale guy. I wasn't sure who it was.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Bloodraven.
Yeah, really vital. The guy who's like, "Oh no, Bran, you let the White Walkers know where we are now," even though when they arrived, the White Walkers had left a trap right outside the fucking front door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now they know we are here. They just leave traps outside of random caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all connected. It's all not to do with anything that's going on. It's all got to do with the gods or the not the gods or the red god or the seers or the children of the forest. Who the hell knows? Suddenly they turned a story of civil war, which was really compelling, into nothing more than voodoo.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's magic. Everything's allowed. It's a fantasy show. Don't pay attention.
You have to pay.
Well, the thing is, the weird thing, back in the day, if you paid attention to a show, it actually gained you.
Yeah.
Right? Nowadays, if you pay attention to a show, the whole shit falls apart because you spot the dumbass writing immediately.
Yeah. Well, and it just doesn't. Doesn't make sense.
Who's the Castellan at Harrenhal? The old guy, Simon? No,
Simon.
not Simon.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Simon. And then you see him in who's the guy? Is it Alfred?
I don't know. There's only 4 people living there.
Well, no. I'm talking about the one who's going to betray Rhaenyra from the person who's on our council, Alfred B or something.
Yeah, like that. I think it's not Alfred. It's one of those names,
Alfred or whatever. The one who's going to betray her. Stieg. But you see him and he spies him and Daemon. It reminded me of a damn kid, or like being like, "Ooh, what are you doing? I'm gonna go tell." And then Rhaenyra gets there, And it doesn't go the way he does, but he's never going to tell her his suspicions anyway. So it's just like, why make that scene? Just like, I mean, that's what I'm looking at now. Is he was going to warn her about something, but then Damon did what she wasn't expecting, and now, yeah.
Oh yeah, here's Sir Alfred. I forgot. You were right, Sir
Sir-
Alfred Broom.
Okay.
And the weirwood tree spoiled that, because when he showed up, the weirwood tree whispered "traitor." So now everyone knows he's a
No,
traitor.
it didn't. No, it didn't.
Go back, put it on with subtitles.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. The weirwood tree spoiled everything. So every character spoiled
which means
everything,
the weirwood
including the
tree-
damn tree.
Which means the weirwood tree took sides.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. The actors, or rather the writers, have been accused of having a bias toward Team Black, but this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, now they gave Team Black wood
Exactly.
on their side.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to be wrapping this up because I think we hit pretty much most of the points, but and we've been going for nearly 2 hours. So wow. I mean, any final thoughts? I'm going to start with Christy.
I just like, I can't wait how they're gonna mess up season 3. I just can't wait.
Mhm.
Oh, we saw Darren
Darren the Damon. Yeah, Darren the Daring.
You see the dragon.
Yep.
And then doesn't Rhaenyra say something about like the third son or something like that? I was like, this poor kid.
Yeah. Oh, it's just been him and Maelor.
And-
Because remember, Maelor is just missing. Maelor the missing.
No, yeah.
Mark.
Otto, why was Otto being held prisoner?
We don't know.
It doesn't. So he just, in the books, he just goes back to Old Town.
Yeah, but he's
never
King's
taken prisoner?
Landing when things go down. I forget how he ended up back at King's Landing, because I don't know. I'll have to double check, because my brain cells are gone. I think I lost my half of them just by watching the episode last night.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This is fun. I can't wait to talk about it again in what, like 3 hours.
Which is,
Yeah,
it's
it's gonna be-
ironic that you lost half your brain cells, because it is written for half IQ people.
Oh, well, there you go. So maybe I'll enjoy it from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, yes, at 6:15 Central and 7:15 Eastern, Sporking is going to be having it, and yeah, Christy's going to be on it, and maybe Steve, but a lot of us are going to be on. Now, we have been critical from the beginning, so there, for the most part, we have. Steve, did you have anything you wanted to say before we signed off?
Not really. I'm not going to watch season 3. I think there's so many other shows I've never seen, so I'm going to spend time watching that. I mean, we choose what we spend our time on, don't we?
Yes. Yeah, you said it. And do you have any streams coming up? I think with Mara.
Oh yeah, with Mara on Wednesday we're doing our monthly weird news thing, where we talk about people who think they saw Bigfoot, and I think there was someone said that was last time some UFO had landed in Vegas to refill its gas tank. We doubted that once, the truth of that, but yeah, so all kinds of weird stuff we talk about once per month, and it's fun. And then next week at the same time, we'll be doing our top 10 favorite movies from 1990, I think it is. Maybe it's 91. No, I think it's 90.
Yeah, because I think the last one was 89. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Okay, so yeah, so everyone please stick around for those are loads of fun. And here I'm gonna put the link to Sporkings tonight. See some more opinions.
So he's starting 15 minutes early.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah. I guess he has a lot to say.
Yeah. Well, he said this. The title of it is "This may have ruined the whole series." Well, yeah. I mean, it's there. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, my guests. Thank you for Bushmaster, Sort of Poopus, LJ, the Grunk Squad, Maza. Let's see. Tommy showed up. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Outlaw Bill. Thank you, Adega Outlaw. Thank you. I think I said Bushmaster, Positive Candor, Proper. Yes, yep. Proper showed up. Yay. He hasn't even started, so he's smarter than all of us. And Blood Guilty Gaming. Thank you. So everyone have a great day. Have a great day. And be certain to just watch good stuff and ignore the crap that's been coming out.